Welcome to Iowa Department of Human Services Child Support Recovery Units, Confidentiality and Safeguarding Course, Module 7A, Overview of Violence Indicators, and a further emphasis on Family Violence Indicators known as FVI. For this video walkthrough, please turn on your audio. I want to first take the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Trey. I will be your guide. Here are a few tips for a journey together. Number 1. Please limit all distractions and try to watch this video in its entirety all at the same time. Number 2. Both text and audio are used. To get the most out of our journey, turn your audio sound on. It's necessary. Number 3. You can pause, you can fast forward, and rewind just like you can with movies. Use the buttons at the bottom of the screen. Number 4, even if you feel you know everything about confidentiality and safeguarding, you can always get a refresher. Plus, you can help your coworkers too. Enjoy this video walkthrough. Let's get started with an introduction to violence indicators. Federal law requires state 40 agencies to have safeguards in place to protect against the release of information when a parent or child is at risk of harm from the release of such information. In order to fulfill this requirement, a disclosure risk indicator, known as DRI, and/or a family violence indicator, known as FVI, may be added to selected iCar screens. When cases are flagged with an FVI or DRI, the CSRU caseworker can see the flag. The confidential information about the people on the case has even more than the usual safeguards applied to CSRU records. Therefore, it's important to recognize harm could come to a parent, caretaker, or child on a case if you improperly disclose confidential information about the victim. Disclosure of information that seems harmless, such as telling a case party which state is enforcing the support obligation, could potentially have a harmful outcome. Now we'll explore our first violent indicator a little bit further, the family violence indicator. As previously mentioned, federal law requires 40 agencies to have safeguards in place to protect against the release of information. Additionally, federal law also requires all states to have a process to protect the release of information in cases where a person on a child support case is a victim of family violence. The Family Violence Indicator is connected to the Federal Case Registry. All states must submit information about this protection to the FCR by using and reporting a FVI. Here's the FCR to FVI to the states process. It begins with the FCR, who sends an FVI to all states to inform them that a person on the case is a victim. Once an FVI is issued, the FCR stops proactive matching for the person and no longer provides any information to the states except the person's social security number and the FVI. When an FVI exists, use extreme caution when discussing the details of the case. So we're going to continue looking at an FVI. We're going to go ahead and open up the computer and let's do a search for it. Let's start with an FVI is, and wait for it to load. Here we go. An FEI is a person-specific indicator used by the FCR and all states. The FEI identifies only victims. It is specific to one or more persons on the case who may be a victim of family violence. Once an FEI is issued for a person, the FEI is added to all the person's cases. The offender may or may not be anyone or any of the victim's cases on ICAR. The second part is also an FEI is obtained through automated matches with the FCR. Iowa CSRU workers cannot add or remove an FEI. Once a case party is determined to be at risk, the state that made the determination reports the FEI to the FCR. The FCR matches the information with other states. If the reported victim is found to be part of the support case in another state, the FCR flags the other state's matched case records with an FEI. The FCR does not remove an FEI unless all states that reported the FEI on the person remove their protection. How about an example? We'll take a look at one in 6 steps. A payee has a child support case enforced by the Nebraska CSRU, and a Nebraska court issues a protective order because the payee is a victim of violence. This protective order meets the state of Nebraska's criteria and standard for a violence indicator. The Nebraska CSRU reports this to the FCR. The FCR then sends an FEI flag to all states. However, the FCR does not identify the state that reported the FEI or the underlying event that caused an FEI to be reported to the FCR. The payee receives a child support case in Nebraska, but also has a case in Iowa. Let's look further into how the Iowa ICAR screen is affected. Affected ICAR screens, such as this case screen shown here, will have an FEI flag. Notice that the offender is not identified on any ICAR screen. ICAR screens will display only an FEI. Caution. Each state sets a criteria for determining a risk for a person on the case. The other state's criteria may or may not match Iowa's. Each state submits FEIs to the FCR according to their own state's protection criteria. This concludes our walkthrough of violence indicators and a further emphasis on family violence indicators. I hope you enjoyed this video walkthrough.